Google it. Follow to stay up to date on my content. I'm not able to accept any more invites. Looking like, you know, my name is Jose, I'm a former ethical hacker, blah, 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 blah. I don't see the person here. I see words that describe you. But if I would want to hire you, I want to see who you are as an employee. What's your character? If I can work with you, if you are a team person, how can you do that with Facebook, LinkedIn, or other social media?
I think the first thing is that, of course, one thing is to see the person and so on, but searching on not only on LinkedIn, but overall online, it's very much based on the keywords. So the first thing, if you want to be, as a candidate, for example, I want to be more wanted and by other companies, the first thing I would do is to improve my profile just purely on keywords. It's not a novel. It can be, you can create a section like specialties and put there all keywords which you think the recruiters would be typing into LinkedIn to find you. That's the first thing. On the second thing is that then you can play more with let's say the feeling and the look of the profile. Put there some videos of you, pictures. Now LinkedIn is, the possibilities are there and not so many people using that often. So using these videos, pictures, the top banner, those are such a quick wins which you can improve your profile significantly.
But would you hire someone from Facebook or LinkedIn without having a face-to-face interview?
No, of course the interview process is, LinkedIn is just the first phase where you will discover a person. Then of course it depends on the role, Skype interviews, but what I have to say, me personally, when I started 10 years ago with IT recruitment, maybe 20 first people I hired was actually even without calling to them. Chat, email, because the preference of IT guys is text communication, it's not voice. So it's not, or maybe, I don't know if ICQ was here some times ago. Do you know ICQ? Yeah. So yeah, at the times we were like chatting. And actually now the text communication is coming to recruitment rapidly in any other area. So as well as you, for example, send SMS to a friend of you, why not to send SMS to a candidate? If you want to call a candidate, you don't necessarily to have a number. You can use Skype. If you know a name from LinkedIn, you can find the person on Skype. If you have a Gmail of a person, you can invite them to Google Hangouts and you can chat or use voice as well. So now the possibilities are there. And I would just say to encourage people, don't to stick with like the old like bias that I need a number to call candidate and so on. SMS, WhatsApp, Viber, Telegram, anything. Regardless it's vice president or junior Java developer.
Thank you, Joseph.
Yeah, let's stay a bit within the framework of recruitment. I have a short question for David and Anita. Okay, so his company and his product, his platform is relying so much on all the results of the 4.0 thought so far. So he's the living 4.0 in terms of recruitment. He's relying so much on software. How truthful, how sincere can be the result that people put on such a platform? Where is the thin line between human interface, human checking, human validation of a person, and the results that a software can offer? I'll give you mine.
Oh, okay. So I think the question you asked me was, where does software end and where does personal contact begin, and what's the difference? Well, the truth is, you're all on social media, I would imagine. Some of you are truthful, some of you aren't.
We're all happy.
Everybody wants to put their best foot forward, which is good, but we want to understand who you really are. And that's why it's a multiple levels of interviews. It's multiple pieces of engagement, and software and social media is just one tiny piece of it. What you're looking for is consistency across all the mediums. And getting to know an executive, I mean really getting to know an executive that you're going to put all your people underneath and make them responsible for it, it takes time. but it's time well spent. So social media is only just a piece of it, and what we use it for primarily is to find people and find out something interesting about them so that when we call them up as complete strangers, you know, I've got about a third of a second to connect with somebody over the phone. And that's how we do it, by taking something personal and making it part of the conversation right up front so that we have their ear so that they'll listen for the next couple of seconds.
There's obviously lots of things to consider. However, when you're approaching somebody, Joseph is talking, I think even though you said it would be good for vice presidents and so on, there's an age thing also going on here, depending on which generation people are coming from and how it's received. Even though people are using WhatsApp and texting and messaging, not sure that a high-level executive would appreciate that so much. And at the same time, I'm really sure that somebody like my son, who is 23 years old, would be in heaven if somebody contacted him through WhatsApp or messaging. So although it's going to probably end up that way, at the moment it's a slow progression, and you have to keep that in mind. So you always have to consider your audience at the same time. It may be a quick message that you can send them if it's a senior executive, but then you really have to go through all the steps of the vetting and really understanding, because this person is going to be key to your organization. They can sink or swim. You know, they can really, really create your organization and have them rise, or it can be the opposite effect. So you got to be careful.
Thank you very much. Mai avem și noi întrebări. Înainte de toate să vedem dacă sunt întrebări din public. Vă rog să ridicați o mână. Sunt colegele noastre și colegii noștri care se vor apropia de dumneavoastră cu cât un microfon. Dacă nu vin eu, dacă sunt
Dacă avem încă timiditate, o depășim, dar ar fi păcat că aveți oameni care vă pot răspunde la o grămadă de chestiuni. Bine, până atunci avem? Avem. Aici, în dreapta, Vlad. O să-i rog pe colegii să ne ajute de la câteva microfoane wireless în plus, ca să fie mai simplu.
Liliana Bica, Dient Automotive România. Din punct de vedere strategic...
Pentru cine e întrebarea, te rog?
Domnul Tuborg.
Cea mai bună descriere.
Din punct de vedere strategic, atunci când ați reprezentat Camera Investitorilor Străini, ce atitudine ați luat, și chiar și acum, vis-a-vis de politicul din România? La momentul acesta, numai sindicatele reacționează la toate schimbările legislative. Cum reacționează investitorii români și patronatul străin? Pentru că e foarte important, numai sindicatul reacționează, iar cei care aduc bani și vor oameni și vor echilibru în viața politică și vor legislație, nu reacționează. Până acum, eu, din punct de vedere resurse umane, nu am văzut reacție investitorilor. Mulțumesc!
Investitorii străini, și încă o dată vorbesc pe numele FIC și dacă nu sunt acum membru boardului, reacționează permanent. Sunt task force care se lucreze tot timpul și sunt discuțiile și dialog cu guvernanții permanent. Nu există o lună să nu fie o discuție, nu face zgomot ca și sindicatele, că noi nu credem în a face mai multe zgomot, dar de a lucra direct cu cine pune legislația în aplicare. Nu e ușor, asta e clar, dar vă spun că ne luptăm să fie o atmosferă și legislația mai permitive și mai bună pentru dezvoltarea business-ului în România. 3 măsuri, eu știu, exemplu, pe IT. Da.
Angajarea oamenilor care sunt în detenție este o măsură extremă și e de nivel operațional. Din punct de vedere strategic, ce măsuri ați luat, atât ca și patronat, cât și investitor? Pentru că în zonele de producție nu se vede. La momentul acesta nu se vede. Este o goană continuă, după blocul ăla, după oameni care
Să așteptăm și răspunsul, vă rog. Mulțumesc.
Sunt discuțiile pe partea de școli și de educație. Sunt discuțiile permanente pentru a recruta, nu a recruta, să avem mai multe școlile profesionale în România. Sunt și foarte multe companii care sunt de acord să ajute din mediul privat, nu neapărat prin ajutorul de stat. Nu pot să spun că avem rezultatele cel mai bune, dar discuțiile cu Ministerul există în mod permanent.
Da, aici decizia, nu vreau să supăr pe nimeni, decizia aparține statului. Adi Mănuțiu vă poate povesti cât se luptă mediul de afaceri să se strângă într-un anumit tip de unitate și să combată niște chestiuni care țin până la urmă de viitorul mediului de business. Că nu vă mai întreb de predictibilitate, de toate lucrurile pe care le știți că sunt vulnerabile, dar eu n-aș pune la zid mediul de afaceri care supraviețuiește și plătește contracte de muncă. Asta e opinia mea. Bun, o să candidez într-o zi, dar credeți-mă că o să fie urât. Bun, I have a question for Ron. I will put it in English so it will be easier. I was thinking about the Romanian employee who's not really a walk in the park. The Romanian employee, in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like I don't really give a shit about my team, about the company where I work. I think about myself, my payment, my family, my life. I'm an individual. How can you change that? Because not believing in your company, it's not working good enough for your company.
It all comes down to the leadership. What I talked about represents probably 70% of a leader's job. It's not something you do once or you do a couple times. If you're the leader that comes out of the corner office once a year and gives the Sermon on the Mount to end all Sermon on the Mounds, well, you might as well stay in your office. It is something that a day does not go by where you do not touch an employee. An employee looks into your eyes and sees the fire. And so it is non-stop infection that a leader is giving to their people. And when I say leader, I'm not talking about the CEO. I'm talking about the CEO and everyone down to the shop floor. When people become supervisors of another person, they have to get that job on their ability to do what I showed here today. They have to get that job on the basis of their ability to build those emotional intelligence. Probably one significant change under Industry 4.0 is that now everyone in your company is a leader. Everyone in your company has to think strategically, and you don't get to that position without those abilities.
I'm going to make a confession. I work in the media like 17 years, a lot of years, I might add. Only one of my bosses once asked me a simple question. It was like, how do you feel here? I was squashed, like, what? What's it? You asked me how I feel in the company? No one asked me that. And journalism is like nice working domain. Maybe we have a problem in Romania with the leadership part, because we do not understand how to treat the employee. We own the slaves. This is the perception sometimes.
I will give you an example. In our company, we hired someone away, an admin assistant from Nortel. At that time, Nortel was Canada's largest high-tech firm. It was recruiting the equivalent of every single graduating engineer from the Canadian universities. And when we hired her away, we could not match the salary that Nortel was paying. And one day, we had completed a workshop, and this admin assistant had prepared all the materials and had organized it. And at the end of the workshop, I went up to her and I said, Julia, I want you to understand the impact of your work and how your work affected the client. And I want to thank you for what you've done. You made us successful, and here's how. And she started crying. I got, oh my God, what did I do? And I asked her, what's wrong? And she said the exact same thing as you. She said, in the 12 years I had been working at Nortel, no one once ever told me I was doing a good job. It is not hard to get people caring. Leaders just don't do it. Simple as that.
So here's the beautiful thing. Every single one of you has an opportunity today to do something that will change your organization so that you can recruit anybody you want. And Ron just talked about it, and so did you. Find somebody at work, today or tomorrow, and say thank you. Because what happens in Romania, if that's the real attitude, then this is a beautiful opportunity to step up and grab all the best people for yourself, and look how little effort it actually takes to do that. Try it.
I'll just add, the most powerful recruiters in your firm are your staff. If your staff believe in their organization, they will bring the talent to you, guaranteed.
Mai avem o întrebare?
Hello, my name is Betty. I have a question for Anita and David. Out of the 6 stages, which one is the most sensitive? Which one can break down the whole process if you screw it?
It's the same software that we are using. Yes.
Anybody ever heard the expression garbage in, garbage out? So we're familiar with that? So the answer to the question is the first one. If you don't understand, it's a great question, I'm glad you asked it. If you don't understand who the company is, who the people are, what your mission is, what your cause is, you can't possibly connect with anyone that you're going to recruit. Not someone who's going to stay and make a positive difference. So the answer to the question is the first one. That's a great answer. The second answer is, after that, it's the second one and the third one. You have to get it all right.
So aside from your understanding what your company's all about, because you will, if you work there, understand what your company's all about, you need to be able to convey that to the candidates that you're courting or that you're contacting so that they can really understand what the company's about. That this is the most crucial step that you have to start with, and you have to take the time and put the effort into conveying that.
One last thing. Has anybody ever told you they loved you? Did you ever say why? Were they able to answer? Because if they weren't, you know what happened. This is the same thing. When you go recruiting, you have to tell them, we want you, we love you. And they're going to ask why. And you have to be prepared to answer that question. That's stage one.
Mulțumim invitațiilor, mulțumesc și vouă. Ne îndreptăm către pauza de cafea și vreau să vă spun că ne vedem, cât este ceasul, Adi, ajută-mă cu timing-ul și cu cifrele.
1 fără 10.
La și 20
și un sfert.
Negociem.